Good day, merry me. My name is Glennis. I'm the Witch of Whitetail Hollow. Thank you for joining me. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and join me. And if you're returning, well, welcome. Thank you so much for returning. So, it's just a little bit of a chit chat. Earlier, I said something about doing a wreath, and I kind of have it semi-finished. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about what makes it special. Now, as some of you know, I've had maybe a couple of issues with the hollow, things like that, a little bit of privacy issue, and I feel like I've done as much mundane measures as humanly possible. And I've taken some magical measures, but I kind of want to take it a little step further. And I have a someone I consider a very dear friend, and her YouTube name is Stormy Night, and she and I were chatting a bit, and we were talking about casting circles, and she had this brilliant, just an absolutely brilliant idea, and you guys, you might already know it, and again, this might just be new for me because I'm not too shy about making a mess, especially with salt. But she says, well, why can't you take either a rope, a piece of sisal, something like this, or ribbon, and soak it in salt water, let it dry, and then use that as a perimeter. And I thought, you know what, that's brilliant. Absolutely. Well, I said, well, of course you can. Well, I mean, why not? So I kind of took it a little, of course, you guys know me, I took it a little bit of a step further. And I've been working on this wreath, and of course the wreath itself has been smudged and all of that good stuff. There's not much that comes through the door that I don't take care of, because there's a lot of bad juju out there. But as I was working and looking and seeing, what I was going to do, because I'm actually getting ready for another trip. Yeah, I know. But, and I thought, well, what can I do? Because I've hung talismans. I've actually done a spell that I still have to share on YouTube. And I thought, what else can I do? I want someone to know when they walk up. I want there to be just simply no doubt. So what I've done, that's why I bought the wreath. Now, I did buy this already made, and I did have this wire, and I showed that to you guys earlier. But what I did is I took the wire that's already on the wreath, and last night I soaked it in some of my salt. My black witch's salt is, of course, made it myself, but I soaked that overnight and let it dry a bit this morning, and I thought, well, why can't you just kick it up a notch? So this has been, and I put a little hanger here, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a pentacle here, and I may add a little bit more to it. I really can't say that it's finished, but it's definitely been smudged, and it's definitely well treated with some salt. And when I go back up, which will be Mabon, when I go back up, I'm definitely going to hang that. So if someone does show up, of course I'm going to know anyway, but if someone does show up, they'll see that, and there will be no doubt in their minds what's in store for them. So there you go. But yeah, Stormy is just an incredibly talented, creative person, and she is a writer. Now, given the area that I live in Tennessee, I know writers, I know creative people, of course, in my job and in my day-to-day dealings with people, and I know creativity, I know songwriters, and different things like that. And so I'd like to think I'm a pretty good judgment of people's capabilities, talents, things like that. And I can tell you she's an incredibly talented writer. And I only hope that she will pursue wherever the road happens to take her. So, and I'd also like to, yesterday I spent a wee bit of time on YouTube and looking into the banter back and forth as far as plastic witches are concerned. Now, I think that I found the YouTube video source where this all took root at, where it started. And I watched as long as I could. And I understand that person's point. And of course, I've watched Brittany's video and Drew's and a few other people's videos, responses. And I believe Keldon, I believe his name is Keldon. I watched that yesterday. And, you know, all I can tell you is how I feel. And what I think is irrelevant. But I can tell you how I feel, and I have been solitaire for so incredibly long that for me to be able to go out shopping and buy whatever, a bleeding candle, this, that, and the other, is just a huge breath of fresh air. I mean, it's been many, many years, probably longer than what some of you guys have even been on Earth. So for me, it's just like a breath of fresh air. And now I have to say that the, you know, I'm not going to say the majority, because I don't want anyone to split hairs with me, and I don't want anyone to call me to task, but I'd like to think that the majority of what I do buy, from being from Goodwill, a lot of the things I get from nature, from the Hello, you know, in a way is kind of recycling. And I try to spend my money wisely, and I don't go and buy like huge bulk, like plastic schlocky things. I try to buy things that I can keep in my decor basically year round. Now the fall things, I mean, you don't want fall flowers around all year long, but I try to buy things that I know are going to be in my practice, because I do work for clients in my practice, and it's just a matter of, you know, it's just like when I go and I work for my mundane clients in my practice, there are supplies that I need for them. Well, I have to go and buy them. I mean, I can't make hangers and and things like that. I mean, I'm just not a factory. So, you know, in that respect, but the bulk of what I buy is for my clients and for what I need in my practice and for some of the things that I do. I mean, I can see it, you know, I'm trying to see it on both sides of the coin, so to speak. So, you know, I really hope that all of this can be at some point put to rest, although I think it has served its purpose. And that's, you can take that from what it is. You know, I have bought, you know, probably a couple of little goodies here and there that I probably really didn't need. But like I said, this is the first time in many, 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 many years that I can be out and about, and I don't have to worry about what anyone thinks, what anyone says, because, you know, I mean, I've been called names, and that's okay. I've been called worse. But, you know what, and let's segue, let's go to another direction, and let's go to, as you guys know, I'm going to be out of town, and unfortunately it's really super necessary, but it's only for a couple of days. But what I think I'm going to do is, as far as Mabon is concerned, is I think what I'm going to do is do like an introductory video. I'm going to show you how I would put an altar together, although I'm sure that there's quite a few of you that don't like practice like I do, but how I would put an altar together what Mabon means to me, and maybe a few things that you can do over Mabon week that is not necessarily spells per se, but put your life and reset your life and put things in a little bit of a different perspective. I know I take this opportunity this time of the year to do that. So I hope you'll join me. And again, it may be 3 videos, it may be 5. At this point, I don't know. I just kind of go with it. But I hope you guys have an awesome day. I know, that no matter what, when I wake up, my eyes open, my feet hit the ground, and no matter what, it's going to be an awesome day. No matter what. That's just how things are. But thank you again for indulging me, and I hope you have a super fabulous, awesome day. And with that, I will say merry part, but I so hope to merry meet again. Goodbye, guys.